Well, today is a great day to build some deer habitat. You can see this area behind me is void of any type of understory. I mean, look at the bare, almost bare dirt here. This is an old pasture area. It's got a few oaks in it, but mostly just junky trees, so a great scenario to bust out the chainsaw and bring some deer habitat back down to the deer's level. Let me show you what it looks like before I bust out the saw. Alright, so you can see that this area is a ridge top. It kind of drops down into a couple of different bottoms, so great topo for building deer habitat. I got a gradual south-facing slope right here which I want to get cut, but low value trees, no understory like I shared earlier, so there's no food, no cover here, no reason why a deer would want to bed here. But with these low value trees we can do a lot of cutting. We'll leave the oaks. There are a few maples that the landowner wants to leave, so we'll leave those. But otherwise, it's time to get the saw out and bring this cover back down to the deer's level. All right, just like that, let there be light. You can hear the mulcher rolling behind me on a different project we're working on. But this pasture has some cover in it now and some food. Alright, we'll weave our way through this one. Lots of nice trails and pockets. Now this is the north side, so I didn't cut on that side nearly as heavy, but still made some good little pockets in here. Oh, let me clean that up quick. Little branch fell the spot I cleaned out. So all kinds of little canopied potential beds. There's one right there, big red oak that I was able to release. You can see a nice escape working out that direction. Really wanted to get the oaks opened up in here, get more acorns, and I got these nice big old brush piles all the way around my oak trees. So those are going to be my natural seclusion cages to get oak regen, because what would have happened in a stand of timber like this, I've seen it happen in this area, if we would have done nothing, eventually the ironwoods would have completely taken over, because they take over the mid-story and allow zero sunlight to hit the forest floor, and this would have been a monoculture of ironwood. So getting these basswood down today, there was some ash in here, ironwood, getting them cut, getting that hole in the canopy is going to allow for some diversity in here because we got sunlight, so we're going to get some oaks regenerating. There was some aspen, so we'll get aspen regenerating, ash, basswood, all kinds of good stuff. But that was the key right there, is getting that hole punched in the canopy. So this is kind of my main run, cutting right through the highest point of this bedding cut. Now I hinge cut what I could hinge cut. None of these trees are really great for hinging. The ash weren't in great shape, so they didn't hinge well. There were a few elm mixed in, those hinge really well. There's the basswood, they hinge okay. But again, even when they die, well, that's kind of the end of the cut right there. Even when they die, they end up propping up that cover, so it just leaves it a lot easier for the deer to move around, which is very helpful when it comes to the cleanup side of this cutting. It's just a lot less chainsaw work you have to do. Alright, so the main focus of this cut was this southerly exposure. It was a gradual south-facing slope, which is, if you're a deer hunter, you know that's money when it comes to deer bedding. So you can see you got a trail working down the southerly exposure. Look at the hole in the canopy. Let's show off some of those bur oaks that were opened up. They wanted to leave the birch, so that's why they're still standing. Look at those. Bur oaks were just getting choked out before by all these ironwood and basswood. Well, they got a new lease on life. So I got all kinds of little pockets and trails cutting through here. Plenty of spots that I left open for bedding. I could see deer bedding up against these logs. I mean, it's turned out nice. Had some hang-ups, but I was able to get the trees down eventually. Normally I'm able to figure out a way where I don't leave too many hang-ups. Hang-ups are where it gets dangerous though, so if you're not comfortable taking the tree down, don't go after it. The wind will take it down. Look at this, like this is cool. That's kind of the high spot right there. Now we kind of turn into this bench right here with all that great sunlight. We got cover on both sides. And that's definitely a spot I could see a deer bedding. Beautiful bur oak right overhead. Again, I did try to hinge, like that hinge probably won't live. That one will right there. That was a nice thick hinge. Try to hinge what I could, because I want some of these pockets to stay green this fall. But even if they die, those brush piles are gonna fill in with woody saplings, and I will get cover in here. Might take a little bit of time. It's gonna happen, and in the meantime, these treetops do act like cover for the deer. So getting up in this area, I think this is kind of the main hub where I could see the most deer bedding. Just the trees laid out really nicely. I was able to make a lot of sweet little pockets. There's one right up in there. There's a nice hinge. That one will live. Got a really nice little canopy bed up in here. A couple of them actually. See right there, boom and boom, and it kicks out the back. Nice overhead canopy. Actually, there was an old deer stand right there. That tree needed to come down though, so it came down. Didn't clean out this spot, but I think this might be a spot a deer could potentially bed. So all I do is kick the duff out of there, so that if the deer wants to lie down there, he can. He or she can. Anyway, moving on. Alright, I do got to get the chainsaw in here. That was cleaned out. There was a bed right there. It must have been a late tree I dropped. Again, that's another reason I do these videos, is I can double check my cut. But look at that beautiful canopy. Even got a old tree stand board in it. So that's definitely a spot I want to try bed deer. That was a good spot right there. I don't want to dead end anything, so I got a trail kicking out to the main trail over there. We go back in the cut. You'll see I got some really nice little canopied beds kind of down the ridge here. This was a nice spot. Got a really good hinge on it. Bed right there. Escape kicking out that way. Love when they set up like that. Here is a spot I was really confident in. So this is my escape. It's my trunk right here. Deer still can get out right here. But back in here, boom, potential bedroom right there. Potential bedroom over here. That is the escape out that way. That's how they'll get into this one. But, and again, right on that south-facing slope. And then this is getting towards the bottom of the ridge, but still potential deer beds, because there's no access points right here to deer stands. So if they want a bed down here, they can. Right there'd be a spot. Real nice little canopy right up in there. Yeah, it turned out great. I am gonna add to this one. I am not quite done with it. Where it kind of dead ended at the ridge, I need to do a little bit more cutting. And we do have another day planned out here, so make sure to finish this one up in the future. But all in all, yeah, there's a great bed right there. All in all, it turned out really well. I love when I get these gradual south-facing slopes. Those are just money. And before, it was wide open spaces. Wide open spaces no more. All right, y'all take care. God bless.